Joe DeGuardia with Star Boxing. Joe, big fight you got here for Delvin. How did that come about?
Well, fortunately it came about, Carl. I'm just glad it came. We've been working on it for a while, actually. It's been at least 2 months, I'd say, maybe, where we initiated the conversations, initiated things, and trying to get the things to go together. It looked like it died, and we were pursuing another path. And then, as they say, as the cosmics happen, it came back together, and it ended up coming back together pretty quick when we put it together.
So after this, you're taking off immediately for Macau, right?
Right. Fly back to New York, take that plane over to Hong Kong, 16 hours, and then that ferry to Macau. So looking forward for that trip. Not really. I'm not looking forward for the trip, but I'm looking forward to seeing Saturday night to see how Joe Hanks does.
His first big fight, I guess. If he wins, what's next for him?
He's got to get by Saturday night. I mean, if he gets by Saturday night, he's fighting a tough guy, another undefeated fighter, 2 undefeated heavyweights fighting each other in Andy Ruiz. If he gets by that fight and wins that fight, which I'm hoping and expecting he does, it really opens up all the doors. I mean, you have a big win on a nice card in Macau, which is an burgeoning market. To fight on that card and be the heavyweights on that card when Zhu Zhuming is the opposite end of the spectrum. You get the little flyweight and the heavyweights. He can make a splash if he looks good. But now it's up to him.
Tell us about your fighter that's fighting in Huntington, New York.
Chris Algieri. He's I was at the press conference and I was at the fights, and a couple of the other fighters were calling him Clark Kent. And he reminds me of Clark Kent. He dresses all dapper and nice, and you'd never think he was a fighter. He's a college graduate. He put off his medical studies for medical school on hold while he wants to be a fighter. Was a kickboxing champion, MMA champion. So inside the ring, he's like a real surgeon and he's a warrior. Skilled, different kind of style than, let's say, a Delvin and things like that, but very skilled and smart, but fast jab, throws a lot of punches like he did with Peralta in that fight with Peralta. And, he's an exciting kid. I got high hopes for him. I think he's very marketable. He's got a lot outside the ring, a lot inside the ring, and I'm real pleased with his development.
I mean, the press release was talking about gearing up for a world championship and all that. How far is that away?
I think he's 18 months away from a world title. I know what he's been doing in the gym. I know who he's been sparring with in the gym, top dogs in the gym, world champions and top-rated fighters. I know how he does, and I think he's about 18 months away. Certainly he's got a perfect venue to do it in because the Paramount in Huntington, unbelievable. It's a real fight crowd. It's a real fight place. I believe it's the best venue in the country. Obviously, look, Madison Square Garden has its type of fights, and we're down here at the Amway Center. It's going to be beautiful. But I'm talking about a fight club. To me, the Paramount is the best by far. It reminds me of the Blue Horizon, but I say it's like the Blue Horizon on steroids. And that's my thought process on the Paramount. And I think it's perfect for Chris. It's a great place to develop. Sooner or later, he's going to outgrow it, but perfect place to develop.
And you mentioned Antonio Tarver. What's happening with him?
Well, look, Antonio's, stone's throw away from here, Orlando, right? And, look, when you have that kind of background that he has and the experience and, former world champion, a star, mega pay-per-view star, you never know what things might pan out from. Hopefully they do turn out and he gets back in here and gets some wins and he could be back on top. But look, time moves on. You get a little older, so he's got to make his move now. Otherwise, he's got other opportunities. He's a good speaker, and hopefully he'll get into some more commentating.
There was never really any statement from him, I don't believe, about that situation he had with the drug test.
Yeah.
Has he ever talked to you about it? Or?
No, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation that happened. I'd leave it to him because, frankly, Antonio could speak very well, and I would leave that, to him. But look, I think sometimes the ball bounces in a bad way for you, and maybe you don't get the kind of breaks you should get. But I don't want to go through all the facts and things, but from what I understand, there are some things in those facts that maybe he didn't get that good of a break.
Yeah.
But hopefully it works out. It's unfortunate. It's sometimes the way the ball bounces.
You got any other hot boxing news going on?
Well, look, I'm looking forward very much to seeing Demetrius Andrade fight for that world championship. You know, where we were supposed to fight 2 weeks ago. You know, I had originally.
So is it going to be Martirosyan in Macau?
It's going to be Martirosyan. I don't know if it's going to be in Macau. We're still working on a couple different things. But look, at least I'll be laying the foundation when I go to Macau on Saturday, right? I'll get used to the town, and if we end up going to Macau, well, then so be it. And look. Being on the Pacquiao card is not the worst of things either.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We're still working on that. I'm going to speak to Bob. I'm going to be out there with him this week out in Macau and speak to Artie, my partner on Demetrius, and we'll see how things turn out.
Well, you look pretty good. I know you were in a really bad car accident. Tell us about that.
Look, it was brutal, but, you know, we talk about how the ball bounces sometimes. I got very lucky. You know, I was driving home from my show at the Paramount last year. I'll tell you a good story about it. But last year, I had the show at the Paramount a year ago, and I was driving home. I was on the Long Island Expressway, which is a huge expressway. You know, 4 lanes on each side, major divider in between. I was driving in the middle lane, and surprise, surprise, the car is coming in the wrong direction and hits me head on. You know, the guy was drunk and. You know, it was a bad accident, real bad accident. But I was fortunate. They came through okay. Pain, yeah, I had pain. But, you know, when you're a fighter, you got to fight through it and push through it and force yourself to get up and force yourself to start walking. And fortunately, I was out of that hospital in a few days. You know, so it worked out okay.
That's good.
But I will tell you that the fight that I had last Saturday night, since it was a year anniversary, I figured let me deal with every superstition. So I wore the same outfit, wow. and I figured let me deal with it head on. But meanwhile, that outfit was full of blood from the accident. But in the meantime, it was all clean now, and I'm looking to get into the ring. And Chris Algieri fought Mike Arnudis. The ring ropes were a bloody mess. So now when I'm trying to get in, I'm saying, oh, let me try to get in without getting blood all over this thing again. All right. I ended up getting blood all over my outfit again, but at least it wasn't a car accident, so it was all right.
And you drove home after the fight?
No, I actually stayed. I actually stayed in Huntington. Not Huntington, but Fox Hollow was one of our sponsors, and so now after the fights, I stay there. Regardless, I stay at the fight for the night. All right. You know, too many crazy people on the road late at night, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, thanks. All right.